Good morning, Night City! Yesterday's body count lottery rounded out to a solid and sturdy 30. 10 out of Haywood, thanks to unabated gang wars. One officer down, so I guess you're all screwed, cause the NCPD will not let that go. Got another blackout in Santo Domingo. Net runners are at it again, poking holes in the power grid. While over in Westbrook, trauma teens scraping cyber-psycho victims off the pavement. And in Pacifica, well, Pacifica is still Pacifica. This has been your man, Stan. Join me for another day in our City of Dreams.
Hello and welcome to a Cyberpunk 2077 review in 2024. It is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it a lot, and the game has changed a lot since it launched in 2020, and I decided to do this video to celebrate its 4-year anniversary. The gameplay aspect of Cyberpunk is by far my favorite thing. You start with uncommon and you can't find legendary at all, or epic or rare. You have to play the game and level up, and then you start unlocking rarities, which is really cool. You can also find something called iconic weapons, which is one of a kind weapon, but because it's one of a kind and you can't find a duplicate of it, they allow you to increase its rarity by using like special item that you get from destroying or salvaging items. There's also a skill tree, and it's really big. There's tons of different skill trees in the game. I think there's like 7 or 8, and they all change a lot. Some just change some numbers, and others change a lot. Some gives you a new ability, some may even change your cyberware, and some may even improve on your abilities. And cyberware is where you get armor, but it also gives you new abilities and changes your abilities. And in my playthrough, I got a cyberware that replaced my healing item. So instead of giving me a healing at once, it gave me healing over time, which was really cool. And I also got myself a cyberware that healed me when I had low health. So it kind of did the healing for me, so I never thought about it, which was really nice. The AI in this game isn't smart, but it isn't dumb. What I would call it is fun, because it does what you think it should, and it doesn't do what you think it shouldn't do, which is nice. And other games do tend to do more realistic or very dumb AI, which is nice that AI is really good or fun. And the enemies doesn't spot your AI teammates, which is really nice. So when you're in the stealth missions, the enemy just doesn't notice when you have an AI teammate going, so it makes the stealth missions more fun. And there's also a police AI, and it's really good. It's one of the best, I believe, but it does have some bad sides, because it's really easy to get rid of the cops, but when you get 5 stars, it's impossible to live. You can't live through it. It's very hard, because there's something called max tech in the Cyberpunk game, which is like a very high-tech military police, and they will be sent in when you get 5 stars, and they are a boss. They will have a huge health bar on top of your screen, and it will take a lot. And after 30 hours, I was around level 40, and I still struggled, and I barely could do 50% of one of them. There's multiple of those as max techs, and they all have different abilities, which is really nice. And there's also a lot of gun types and stuff like that, because you have power guns which can ricochet, and you have tech guns which can penetrate walls, and you also have smart weapons which targets enemies on special places so you don't have to aim, which is nice. For the combat, you have something called quick hacks, and you also have to use your cyberware a lot in the fights, and also guns, and you can also choose to have melee. You can have throwing weapons, or maybe a melee weapon, a blunt weapon, katana, stuff like that. But quick hacks, it's kinda in its name, it's hacks which you use on an enemy, because you can, everybody in the Cyberpunk universe has cyberware, which is like tech, so you can hack the tech. Maybe you want to destroy the weapons, or maybe you want to give them burn damage, electricity damage, blind them, reset their eyes, or maybe even just destroy their cyberware, which is nice. And one thing I really hope they change in the next Cyberpunk game is a walk button, because it's really frustrating, because in many missions the game makes you walk the same speed as the NPC, but this isn't in every quest. In some quests the game doesn't do it for you, so you have to stop walk, and it's so annoying, and it makes the mission so annoying, and it really just destroys that part of the game, and they need to fix this. The story is very short, and I mean extremely short. It's around 20 hours, and it would be a lot better, but the choices in the game are almost meaningless. The first is when you start the story, you get to choose between a nomad, corpo, or street kid. The game makes you believe that it actually changes a lot, but in reality it only changes a very small intro section for the game, and it also gives you another dialogue option, or changes a bit dialogue option in the game. It rarely does anything at all. There are different endings, but the endings aren't like, oh, you said something in one dialogue, here's a completely different thing, or stuff like that. It's more that you have done a side quest line and finished it, and you chose to do the ending that's correlated to that quest line. And there is a bit of, yeah, you just pick one dialogue option, but it's just the dialogue option at the end of the game. It doesn't care what you said at the start of the game and stuff like that. So the game is very short, but the thing is, there's a ton of side quests and a lot of other stuff to do, which is really nice, and the quest lines can give you alternate endings in the game, as I said, and some may even give you romance options, because many of the characters you meet in the story you won't see at all, but then you will get a side quest or quest line related to them, and it will flesh out the character a lot, and you will be able to romance some of them. There are around 4 romance options in the game, and all of them have different options, and 2 of them is from the story, and 2 of them are from just side quests. The map in Cyberpunk is very big and diverse. It is divided into multiple sectors, and each of these sectors have different type of gangs or enemies. It also has different vehicles. You want to be able to find a high-end vehicle out in the desert, and you won't be able to find like typical desert vehicle in high-end places, which is a bit nice to see. And most importantly, there is very different. It isn't, oh, here's a little bit of the same. It changes a lot, because some places you will easily see that it's high-end, and you will easily see that it's very run down, because you can see it in the roads and they show it in the buildings. and they also have different environments between them. So between the high and the low, and it's kind of mid-end, if I would say it like that. You will have spaghetti roads, and it will be terrible to drive any place, and in the high ends you can really see it's very high end. Every road is very luxurious lamps and fences and walkways and all of that, but when you go a little other place you will easily see that now the road looks a lot worse, and there's less street walks and there's more just weird places to go, which is a bit nice to see in this cyberpunk world. Cyberpunk's graphics are very good, and it's really good. I mean really good. The textures are really detailed, the models are also very high detailed, but the problem is with animations, some are really lacklustering, and some places you can see your own shadow, and then you can just see the animation is really weird. And there's also something called path tracing, which is just ray tracing, but you do ray tracing again after you've done a ray tracing. It is very performance heavy, but it helps give stuff more detail, and you will be able to spot shadows in shadows, or you will be able to spot stuff in a pond or glass. It gives a lot of detail. The game is also very performance heavy at max settings with path tracing. The game also gives you more lower settings, so more people can play it. They also have a Steam Deck graphic settings designed especially for the Steam Deck. The game is also a bit buggy still, but I didn't find any game-breaking bugs. It was mostly just the NPC were placed wrong, or Johnny Silverhand was standing in the air. But mostly the bugs I found was that the NPCs were a place they weren't supposed to be, or colliding with others, or colliding with walls or objects or stuff like that. Cyberpunk is by far my favorite game. I love almost every aspect about it, and I've played through it multiple times since it launched in 2020. It has a great world, it has amazing graphics, very fun gameplay, and a decent story. Yes, the story is very short, but the amount of good side quests with extremely good story makes it up. And that is why I highly recommend Cyberpunk to you. And it's my favorite game, and I believe it will still be my favorite game for years to come. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe, it really helps out a lot. Also, please comment if you have any feedback from my video, or if you have something you want me to review. That's it for me today. Have a nice day.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.